A high global competitiveness ranking for the ease of doing business is important. 12 pillars of policy and development are considered when a country's performance in this area is ranked. They include the state of institutions, infrastructure, the macroeconomic environment, health, education, and labor market efficiency. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. In today's lineup, government making major investment in the health sector. Also, producing onions to meet local demand. See the farmers conquering the challenge. Later, one private sector company showing the results of government strategy to improve the ease of doing business in Jamaica. Stay with us for these and more right after this message.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Major investment and work is being undertaken in the public health sector this year as the government continues to improve the quality of care for all Jamaicans. The various activities outlined by the health minister earlier this year is part of the vision for a healthier Jamaica.
For this financial year, we will focus on a sustained vector control program, the adolescent health program, continuing work on the National Health Information System, strengthening oral health, procuring 16 additional ambulances, developing cancer care, acquisition of the linear accelerator machines. This administration will continue to build on the solid foundation that we have laid for the health sector to secure the future of this country and to make health a major player in the growth and development agenda of our country.
In line with that commitment, the Ministry of Health will begin the process of designing a 10-year development plan for the health sector this fiscal year. The ministry is also restructuring the public health services to deal with shifts in the population and the disease burden. These efforts will be supported by the continued upgrading of primary healthcare facilities.
We plan to undergo work at Grange Health Center in Westmoreland, Comprehensive Health Center in St. Andrew, Maxfield Park Health Center, Christian Penn in St. Catherine, Runaway Bay in St. Anne will receive brand new clinics.
Improvement work will also be carried out on the Buff Bay Health Center in Portland, while the Stony Hill Health Center will be expanded. Design of a new health center for Port Maria is to be completed, and the ministry is looking at options to fund a new health center for Old Harbour in St. Catherine. At the same time, $460 million will be spent upgrading 12 secondary healthcare facilities.
Among these facilities, Mr. Speaker, will be the further expansion of the Linstead Hospital and the Princess Margaret Hospital accident and emergency area.
And progress is expected on plans to build a state-of-the-art child and adolescent hospital in Western Jamaica. Meanwhile, 16 new ambulances will be bought. Illnesses such as cancer, diabetes, and hypertension continue to burden the Jamaican health sector. So this year, the ministry will continue implementation of the National Strategic and Action Plan for the prevention of non-communicable diseases.
Now, efforts to reduce premature deaths from NCDs by 25% by 2025. The ministry is designing and developing a cancer care system of excellence to be located at the St. Joseph's Hospital.
This will result in the cost of full-course radiation treatment moving from $1.8 million to zero for the most vulnerable in society. The Health Ministry is also exploring the use of the human papilloma virus vaccine to significantly reduce the number of deaths and disabilities caused by cervical cancer in Jamaica. The move towards universal health coverage also continues. And as the fiscal year progresses, the Ministry of Health plans to advance its National Health Information System and e-health strategy using $30 million from the National Health Fund.
We will eventually link all our facilities so that we can have continuity of care and easily accessible patient records for more efficient and effective service.
The ministry's mission towards improved health outcomes for all Jamaicans this year is supported by increased financing.
We have doubled, Mr. Speaker, the pharmaceutical budget to $8 billion this financial year. We have significantly increased our health promotion and prevention budget from $20 million last year to $271 million this year. We have increased our equipment maintenance from $80 million last year to over $500 million this year.
The Ministry of Health, anticipating and responding to Jamaica's health needs, setting the pillars to make health a major player in the country's growth and development.
"300 farmers have been targeted to produce onions to meet the local demand this fiscal year. It's part of government's import substitution strategy to save the country foreign exchange and improve the local economy. Farmers in St. Thomas are among those taking on this challenge, and they are succeeding.
As part of efforts to achieve self-sufficiency in onion demand, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has increased production on agro-parks across the island.
And the agro-parks which we are treating with at this time are, of course, where we are, Yalas, Planting Garden Rivers, Amity Hall, Ebony Park, and for some of those areas outside of the agro-parks, we are including Colbeck, Braco, and a number of adjoining areas around those areas I just mentioned.
By 2017, onion import to the island is expected to be reduced by 90 to 100% under the Onion Development Program.
The objectives of the program to achieve that overall goal essentially is to build the capacity of farmers and technocrats in onion production and marketing.
So assistance through the $10 million GOJ Adaptation Fund program put farmers to work. The program is being administered by the Planning Institute of Jamaica.
They significantly came in with financial resources in the provision of seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and land preparation.
Between September 2014 and January 2015, over 70 hectares of onion were planted. 35 of those hectares are in the agro-parks. Ongoing harvesting from March to May 2015 is expected to yield over 1 million kilograms of onions. And of that number, 600,000 kilograms will be reaped from farms within the agro-parks network. The remaining 500,000 kilograms are expected from farms outside of the network.
That is considerable, ladies and gentlemen, in light of the fact that in 2030, we only produce 680 tons.
This initiative has shifted onion production norm of 12 tons per hectare closer to the 20 tons needed to satisfy local demand and achieve self-sufficiency for the country.
Based on what you will see and what we have estimated, we have raised the bar already in terms of productivity, because we are seeing on average that we'll be coming out at about 16 tons per hectare for the agro-parks.
A tour of the Yalas Agro Park in St. Thomas showed reaping in high gear. 20 hectares of onion is now under production there, a 100% increase over the same period in 2014. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Derek Kellier says this level of production, which is being facilitated under the Onion Development Program, is expected to reduce importation by 15% in this first phase.
We are prepared in the ministry to do all we can to see and ensure the success of these agro-parks and the particular crops that we have targeted. So between RADA, NIC and the ministry and the people in research, I think we have an adequate team to make sure that this program succeeds.
We have a twofold involvement. One, we provide the water service, and then we have the on-farm water management service. We advise the farmer in the initial stage how to design their irrigation systems, and then when we provide the water, when they become customers, we provide the day-to-day advice on when is time to irrigate or when is not.
In addition to the GOJ Adaptation Fund program, the success of the Onion Development Program is also credited to other supportive divisions of the Ministry of Agriculture.
We have the National Irrigation Commission, Research and Development, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, Agricultural Land Management Division. That's very important. That's what was formerly called the Rural Physical Planning Division. This has to do with the soil analysis and so on, which are critical to what we want to do. Project Management, the Marketing Division. These are important allies within our team in going forward.
And the farmers at Yalas, they welcome the program.
We got 2 assistants from the GOJ Adapted Fund and JSIF, and where we got irrigation equipment such as drip and tank, and that assisted us, and hose in terms of the 50 mm and 40 mm 32. They assist us in taking the water to the farm so that we can have adequate water to water the crops on the farm, and we are really grateful.
The program is a big help to us, and I like when the government come in and helping the farmer in St. Thomas. Right, so I wish they come and give us more help so we can produce more, so we can feed ourselves, so we can cut off all of the import, because we can grow this right here.
I thought it to be a very sustainable way of income, and it will also create employment for other persons around the community. This is the first onion crop for me. I will be receiving about 20-some thousand pounds, and I think that is still a good benefit in terms of the yield.
Fever, rash, joint pain and red eyes, all common signs of the Zika virus or ZIKV. Symptoms are usually mild, lasting anywhere from a few days to a week. Jamaica has no Zika cases, but if it gets here, it would only be transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. Don't give Zika a chance. Prevent the breeding of these pesky mosquitoes.
The use of oil, cooking oil, a little tip of cooking oil poured on the surface of the water suffocates the larvae and prevents them hatching out. So persons can do that.
At the forefront of government's economic growth strategy is making it easier for the private sector to do business in Jamaica. Here is one inspiring story of what's being achieved.
An investment of more than $3 billion. Energy bills slashed by $40 million. Large-scale cassava production. Initiatives implemented by Jamaica's own Red Stripe beer through the support of the government to ensure the world's coolest beer is competitively priced in the hands of consumers.
Reggae night, we come together when we're feeling right. Reggae night, and we'll be jamming till the morning light.
We've invested because we believe that the climate is conducive to investment.
There could never be a better time than now to invest in our country. The government has clearly demonstrated its commitment to prudent fiscal policy, reducing the public debt and avoiding inflation. We also continue to make steady progress in reducing the time taken and the cost of doing business.
The government is on a mission to grow Jamaica's economy. Critical to that process is laying a solid foundation on which investors can build. Several initiatives have been rolled out within the past 3 years to ensure a welcoming business environment. Local investors have taken notice and are taking advantage of the opportunities. This is the story of Red Stripe.
Reggae night, and we'll be jamming till the morning light.
We needed to make this company much more competitive than it has been over the years. So, you know, cost of electricity was a big factor. So we installed our own combined heat and power plant. Cost us about $750 million. We also modernizing the brewery. The brewery has been built since 1958. And the technology that existed at that time, you know, was the most efficient then. But, you know, when you're in 2014, now 2015, that technology is not as efficient. And when this brewery was being built, it was built in a kind of campus style. In most breweries around the world now, they are much more compact, they are much more efficient. Last year we completed phase 1 of our brewery modernization program, which was replacing about 30 of the tanks in the cellars with external tanks. We used 7 tanks actually to replace 30. So that's gonna be much more efficient. We're gonna save a lot more CO2, we're gonna use a lot less water. Our overall impact on the environment is going to be so much less. This year we're gonna complete phase 2 of that modernization, and we're gonna install another 10 tanks. We also invest in flexible packaging line. So if you notice, we have cans in the markets. We just came out with sorrel. So we're coming out with a lot of innovation, and that's gonna be a big part of our play going forward. The one that I would say is dearest to my heart is our Project Grow initiative. We're looking to replace about 40% of our import with locally grown cassava. And this will cost us about $10 million US. We have a pilot farm going out of Bernard Lodge. We don't own a lot of lands. The government owns a lot of land. And the fact that the government has made these lands available to us at a competitive lease and for a long enough period of time to allow us to really put in serious investment is really, you know, very good. And so cassava beer will be in the market by the end of April 2015.
Great. So don't miss out on this session here.
When you look at some of the business climate that the government has tried to institute over the last year or 2 years, where the overall tax rate for businesses have come down materially, I think those are all the right steps that governments have made, and we have taken advantage of it.
There be people coming from the north and south and east and west.
The Red Stripe story is an inspiration to other local investors. As for the beer company, its multi-billion-dollar investment is already improving its bottom line.
One of the things that we needed to have done, one of the things we said to ourselves when we were starting this investment, we were looking to take about 20% out of our cost base by making this investment. We think we are well on the way to do that.
So you better not be late for this rubber ducking, rockin', jamming fun.
Jamaica is climbing to the top of international business rankings. Solid proof that the government's policies are making it easier to do business. Get on board. Jamaica is open for business.
Reggae night, we come together when we're feeling right. Reggae night, and we'll be jamming till the morning light.
On the board this week, Spanish Town and surrounding communities, Lauriston and Thompson Pen, it is time for Stew Festival 2015. All are invited to come out on the grounds of Brooklyn Park in Thompson Pen on Saturday, November 7 from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Come for the stew, rabbit, duck, mango, beef. Enjoy the community cook-off competition, concert, free HIV test, teeth cleaning and health checkup. Various agencies will be on hand to provide information and services. JUTC, Road Safety Unit, RGD, NIS, Passport Office, NHT, JIS, among others. The annual festival is presented in association with the Lauriston and Thompson Pen Community 4-H Club, CSJP, Power 106 FM, and SDC. Be there. featuring inspiring dance, music, and drama. This will be on Saturday, November 7 at 6 p.m. at the Church Twickenham Park beside the Police Academy, Spanish Town. Come see Twickenham Wind, Steppers for Christ, Twickenham Dancers, and more. Adults $800 and children $250. Contact the church's office at 749-3061 for ticket information. And that's all for our community notices today. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-86802 or send an email to cbishop@gis.gov.jm.
Up next, the top stories making news this week.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The World Bank released its 2016 Doing Business report this week and named Jamaica as one of the most improved economies in which to do business globally. Jamaica's improved ranking of 64 out of 189 countries is the highest rank achieved by any Caribbean country. The country was also recognized for implementing the most reforms for the second straight year, placing the island sixth in the Latin American and Caribbean region. Jamaica Promotions Corporation JAMPRO has facilitated a $350 million investment for a free zone to be opened in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. JAMPRO's president Diane Edwards says the facility is being set up under the Jamaica Logistics Hub initiative to leverage Jamaica's connectivity and ability to manufacture products for the regional markets. The operation is a joint venture involving Gulf Free Americas and China National Automotive Industry International Corporation. It will be administered by Masada Jamaica Limited, and the first phase of the project is slated for completion in June 2016. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Marian Bullock de Cas this week reported that over the past 2 weeks, there had been no new infections of the Klebsiella and Serratia bacteria that killed 19 newborn babies at the University Hospital and the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
I'm happy to report that in terms of infections, we have not seen any new infections at our hospitals, and for the Cornwall Regional Hospital, the last case was seen on the 14th of this month, and for the University Hospital, the 15th.
Ahead of that announcement, the Minister of Health informed Parliament that a special unit was being set up to monitor both private and public sector facilities for newborn babies.
This is in keeping with the United Nations Every Newborn Action Plan, a call to action 2014.
The minister, as well as the Prime Minister, expressed condolences to the affected families.
We recognize that this is a traumatic experience that the parents and families have undergone as a result of the loss of their loved ones. The hospitals will continue to provide counseling and other psychological support to the affected families.
I want to extend sympathies to members of the family, and I hope that the Ministry of Health and the minister will look at the present system and to see what needs to be done, that what happened will never ever happen again.
Government is aiming to complete a comprehensive pay policy review for the public sector by the end of the 2016-2017 fiscal year, looking at how workers are compensated for the jobs they do.
We want to retain the best of our public sector workers who have contributed to the development of Jamaica and who continue to work hard to the development of this country.
Minister Daly was speaking as the Association of Librarians and the Academic Staff Association of the College of Agriculture, Science and Education CASE became the latest categories of public sector workers to accept government's 7% wage offer for the 2015-2017 contract period. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller led a tour of the north-south leg of Highway 2000 this week and was advised that it was still on track to be completed early next year. She expressed satisfaction with the level of work completed so far and praised the fact that a reported 1,000 Jamaicans were helping to execute the work.
I'm extremely pleased that the majority of workers are Jamaican workers. And I've seen some work that have been done by the Jamaicans that I'm sure it's new skills being passed on to our people by the Chinese. And I think that is also very impressive.
Contracts totaling $8.73 million have been signed to facilitate the upgrading of 6 wastewater treatment facilities in Kingston, St. Catherine and Clarendon. Portfolio Minister Robert Pickersgill says the projects will improve the operational efficiency of the treatment plants, reduce contamination of groundwater and meet national effluent standards.
The projects will also improve service levels and increase customer satisfaction to the citizens of communities, which will benefit and will ensure the proper treatment of sewage received by these facilities in order to minimize the adverse impact on the environment and public health.
The government is committed. It is unrelenting in its pursuit of transforming the energy situation in our country, the way we use energy, starting with this project of energy conservation and efficiency. And we are going to continue it to the very end this time.
The Energy Minister was at the Jamaica Information Service offices on Thursday to celebrate the agency's successful implementation of government's energy efficiency and conservation program at the agency. After energy-efficient retrofits were carried out, the agency saved more than $4.5 million on its energy bill between 2011 and 2015.
The JIS is executing a public education campaign to encourage Jamaicans to become more energy efficient.
And finally, the Agriculture Ministry is looking to a locally developed sorrel harvesting machine to help Jamaica grasp a greater share of the global sorrel market. The new machine is expected to cut the duration for de-seeding sorrel by at least 50%, reducing manpower needs from 10 to 1 laborer per session.
For too long, farmers who have to try and survive and eke out a living have found it very difficult to really make money out of what they do because of the methods that they have had to employ in the past. And it is really a brilliant idea that has come to fruition to introduce this machine here today that will help the farmers to reduce costs and indeed increase their take.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
This is where we take our break on Jamaica Magazine for today. Join us again tomorrow for another informative show. In the meantime, keep the link. Use our Facebook and Twitter pages. Visit our YouTube channel and the JIS website to see these and other features. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you that we can do one thing each day towards achieving a worthwhile goal. Until next time, do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.